Welcome to this episode of CGTN live stream. I am CGTN's reporter Xinchen, and good to see you guys again. So yesterday, some people might have tuned into our live streams, chasing the rainstorm and thunderstorm here in southwest China's Sichuan Province, to be exact, in the capital city of Chengdu. It has been raining cats and dogs during the past week. Quite rarely seen in this part of the country because even though Chengdu is very humid, it's very wet, but it doesn't usually see these continuous heavy rains. But now the rain has stopped, but a lot of flood seen in different parts of the city. And I'm currently in the southwest part of the city of Chengdu in an old town called Huanglongxi. It's an old town, Asian town, tracing back with the history tracing back to almost 2,000 years ago. But just look afar. Those pavilions and houses, they were basically destroyed by the heavy rain and the flood. And look right over here. There is a pond. Of course, there is a pond, but the water level wasn't as high as this. There actually is a staircase and going down to a pavilion, which will actually reach the pond. But now the pond is going up here. But I've been here for the entire afternoon. The water level has been dropping pretty quickly. Look at the streams going down from the old town. It's quite rapid. Actually, the water level, the flood has been dropping pretty fast. But still, inside of the old town, there are parts of this place still locked with deep water. And this is a so-called ranked 4A tourist spot, which is the second highest rated natural reserve and Asian town and a tourism spot. And I need a little bit of help to maneuver through this part because even though it's a tourist spot, but it has been locked with water. And here with me we have the chief of the Sui队长. We have Sui Zhenghong, the chief of the rescue mission, and who is also the chief of the firefighting department in this park. And they have been posted here for the past over 24 hours and helping to evacuate people and to bring people out of this flooded area. But the good news, so far, we don't have any casualties yet. And around this old town, we have 5,000 permanent residents, so there are still people living there, and tens of thousands of visitors coming to these tourist spots every day. And look right over there. There is someone is helping the old lady coming out of the old town. And in addition to firefighters, military personnel, and the local police are also helping to evacuate the remaining of residents here. And it has been a pretty tiring job. So let me ask you, 穗队长，就我们目前来说的话，我们的一个救援的进展是已经到尾声了吗？ Has our rescue mission coming to an end so far?
基本上到尾声了。因为现在我们在搜寻最后一轮，基本上就已经接近尾声。还有一些老年人不方便的，我们现在已经在转移了，最后一次转移。
So I just asked the chief, Sui Zhenghong, about is the rescue mission coming to an end, and he told me that yes, it's coming to an end. They're doing a last round of sweep of helping people out of this area, especially those older folks. As I mentioned, it is a old town. Even though it's a tourist spot, it's an old town with history tracing back to 1700 years ago. Now become a tourist spot. So there are a lot of old folks living around. And just look on the floor. 吴哥，我们看一下这个地上，so we have a lot of mud and dirt, and that's actually left over after the water went down. So in fact, the fire station where the chief came from is right over here. This is where actually Sui works, our firefighter. This is their station, and they got called to help immediately right after this area got flooded. And it was all of a sudden, even though the rain, according to the chief, the rain wasn't so bad in this part of the town. But the thing is, we have a pond right over there, and it's connected to some of the bigger rivers in the city. Because of in other areas, so the heavy rain kind of increased the water level in those rivers, and that water from the upstream came down to this part of the city, southwest of the city, the Huanglongxi old Asian town. And that's when the flood just came in all of a sudden and flooded this whole area. But this area has been pretty dry, and we're going to an area that is still flooded with knee-level water, and hopefully to bring our viewers about that. As I mentioned, I've been here for about the whole afternoon, and I witnessed them to bring people out of this area. But I want to ask you, 穗队长，其实有一些我们的这个居民是不愿意出来的，对吗？ So some of the residents actually they don't really want to go out. Why is that? 就为什么呢？
对，因为他们对自己的财务还是有点眷恋的。然后不愿意出来，还有一部分是老年人不方便。不方便的老年人，我们一般都是通过我们橡皮艇来转移。
So I just asked the chief like. They've been evacuating people out, and then during the past like a whole day, 24 hours. 我们可以给前面的画面直着走，这样安全一点。They've been helping like about 40 different households to evacuate this area, but some of the residents they refuse to come out. The reason for that is first, some old people are living in this area, and it's really hard for them to get out, and they need to use all those bowls and etc. And again, some of those residents are running business. Look, and we have a cafe here. It has become a tourist spot. So it has restaurants, cafes, tea houses. A lot of those business owners, they want to actually clean out their stash. They want to make sure that their properties can be managed, to save as much as possible. So they don't really want to get out right away. So that's why the firefighters, the local police, and military personnel have tried so hard to convince these people. And just about an hour ago, we ran into this old man's house, and the man was cleaning out his food, and he refused to come out. The reason for that is just because he thinks, of course, there will be a lot of people to help him evacuate, to save him out of this miserable, flooded area. But the things he's worried about, like once he's out and into a temporary shelter and comes back, he probably won't have any food to eat. And that's the reason why he was trying to save as much food as he can. And we're now entering into, still the flooded area. Right here, it's just about like 10 centimeters, 20 centimeters deep. 这边我们大概可能也就10厘米、20厘米有吗？
对，这里可能就大概10厘米左右深。
So this is just about 10 centimeters. But look here, like in the chief's hand, we have this pole. And it's actually very necessary. It helps us to detect what's in front of us. We did another sweep earlier today. Look, and the water is getting deeper. And we almost fell into a wall on the ground. And just look at how disastrous the flood was, and all the furnitures and stashes from buildings on the sides, and it was poured, into the streets. 这个沙包是我们用来当时就是用来防洪的，对吗？这个。
对，这是我们防洪用的。就是最初的时候，因为水要从外面漫进来，所以说我们用了沙袋堵。
好呀。
没有那个水漫得太快了，没有堵住。
So look there, we have like sandbags, but it's still like half a meter tall, I think. But the flood was so big, and it didn't really, do much as we can see here. 好像是这边是水更大一点吗？还是 ？And let's turn left. 这个是那个低洼地带，对吧？
对。
So this is said to be the lowest laying place of this old Asian town. It's still actually in about half an hour ago, it was still knee level, and we can still see some people are are evacuating, getting out of this place. We're here in Sichuan and in Chengdu. They have raised their flood alert emergency response from a third level to the second highest level. And some are also expecting the water level to actually comes up a little bit. But we can see 这个水其实降还是蛮快的。刚才我们还在吸这儿呢，对吧？
对，那个现在下降水下降的挺快的。
Actually, I want to talk to them. 我可能简单讲，不好意思，我们其实正在直播，想简单可能采访您一下。您是这边店主吗？是。
啊，是的。
就是我们这个当时那个洪水是几点？大概什么时候来的？您还记得吗？
应该是昨天11点左右。
早晨11点。
这个下面。
哦，昨天早晨11点左右吗？
对，11点12点。
就是您是做什么生意的？在这边是？
做的客栈。
客栈。那现在客栈怎么样？
不好的。
那个就我们预计过那个损失吗？
几万块吧。
几万块啊！就是我们是已经开多少年了？就是。
我是租的第2年，这是。
第2年啊，今年还有疫情，对不对？
对，疫情，然后今年而且还修路，修了2个月。所以相当于是今年全部都没法弄。
但是有考虑过之后怎么办吗？现在还
不知道。
但是希望你先保持安全啊，因为可能这个水还会再起来哈。好。So I just asked that young lady, and she's the owner of a bed and breakfast place in this place. And look at her, and I think she was about to cry. And she said that the losses caused by the flood is about tens of thousands RMB, which is a few thousand US dollars. But for a small business, that's a lot of money. And also because of COVID-19 earlier this year, this kind of tourist spot probably was shut down already. And because of the flood, and they were building a new road out there, and she told me that she probably has zero income for this year. And let's have a look, like a peek inside of, this is also a bed and breakfast place. And we can see the mud on the floor and inside. It's quite unrecognizable. And we even have a scooter on top of. And right over there, we can also see like collapsed buildings. I literally, about half to an hour ago, I literally saw that building collapsed. As I mentioned, it's an old town, it's an Asian town. A lot of the buildings are pretty old, and actually locals say some of like people who are in their 90s said that they never seen a flood this big, and it's probably the biggest flood in 50 years. But I think I'm going to bring the live stream to my colleague Jinghao, who is also in another part of the city, and actually who had the flood curve like rushed to that part of the city. And yesterday we saw footages of people actually dining in water like table high. But last thing I want to ask the chief, 崔队长啊，就是我们大概什么时候能结束呢？就是你们能回家？
那个可能要等到那个。这一次的那个雨季结束，
就全都结束之后啊，所以现在还可能。
现在那个可能要今天晚上还要下雨，所以今天晚上不能在这景区里面停留，要等那个景区管理局统一通知。
So I just asked before we end our live stream and toss it to my colleague. I just asked the chief of the fire department of this old town, and. I asked him when that he can leave, and he told me that because there is expected rain more later tonight, and they supposed to still be around to help the situation to prevent possible collapse of buildings, and if there are still more trapped people inside of this old town, and they cannot leave at least until the rain stops, and actually for the entire month, there will be scattered rain. And that's about all I have here in the Huanglongxi Old Town, Asian Town, and also this tourist spot has been closed off for visitors for today and for the notice to reopen. And let's see what my colleague Yang Jinghao has over from Jingtown, which is the northeast of Chengdu.
要过一个艰难的地方，您注意点。好，大家注意，没问题，没问题。Hello everyone, welcome to CGTN China Global. Hello. This is Jinghao. Hello everyone, welcome to CGTN. I'm Jinghao reporting from Chengdu, the capital city of southwest China, Sichuan Province. Where I am now is called Jinghao County of Chengdu. This area has been severely flooded due to the continuous rainstorms during the past few days. And we can say Jinghao actually is one of the worst hit areas in Sichuan Province. We are now in a residential area. You can see most of the houses here have been submerged by the flood of water. We are now on a rubber boat. We are following the rescuers to carry out a rescue mission. The rescuers just rescued a local family trapped in their inundated houses. You can see 5 of the family have been evacuated by the rescuers, including 3 kids and an elderly couple. Okay, the situation is really severe here. The rescue mission is very difficult to carry out. From here we can see the water is really deep. Okay, let's talk a little bit with the elderly man who's just rescued. 大爷你好，大爷，请问一下，就是你们家就是之前就被困多久了？你们被困了多久了？在家里？问一下这个 ，Let's ask this little girl, OK？ 你们在家里被困了多久了？1天半了。1天半。家里情况怎么样？米也不剩好多了。米也没剩好多了是吧？就吃的快没有了是吧 ？OK。然后家里进水情况怎么样？1楼被淹了是吧 ？OK。This little girl told me that they have been trapped in their inundated house for more than one day, and the food is running out. Actually, the entire first floor of her house has been submerged, just like many other houses did, as we can see. Actually, we can take a look at this river. The water level actually has exceeded the warning level. Earlier, local authorities warned that a flood peak of about 8,500 cubic meters per second is expected to pass this county, which will be the largest in history. And this has put the whole county in a very tough situation. Actually, many streets and farmlands of this county have been seriously flooded. Actually, Jinghao County is not the only place that have been hit by the disaster. Many other places across Sichuan Province have also been battered by severe rainstorms during the past week, as my colleague Xinchen just showed you from another area of Chengdu city. Many farmlands, roads, and other infrastructure have suffered varying degrees of damage. Residents that have been trapped to save shelters. Local government employees, they told me they trapped like local schools or government buildings, and among other public institutions. We can see more rubber boats coming in. They will try to evacuate more trapped residents out of the area. Let's try to talk to one of the rescuers. They are all local firefighters. As I just mentioned, they have worked day and night for the past week, worked very hard. We can see that they are exhausted, but they are still trying to rescue more local people who are trapped. 我们简单跟你聊两句吧，就是没事，就说两句吧，可以吗？就跟我们说一下，就是像这种就是救援工作，是不是还挺困难的？ Okay, this rescuer, he's busy and he's not very convenient to talk to us at the moment. We can talk to them later, maybe. As I just mentioned, actually, Jinghao County, the place where I am now, is not the only place that I've been severely hit by the rainstorms. Many cities in Sichuan Province have suffered severe flooding and also suffered great losses. Also, the rainstorms have also greatly impacted public transport. They experienced the but today, I just checked the statistics from the website of the airport. More than 100 flights, including the inbound and outbound ones, have also been cancelled today. And the railway trains were suspended yesterday due to flooding. Now we have arrived at a safe, relatively safe place. Okay. Let me ask this woman. 你好，你们家住哪的？
我们家。
你们家有受影响吗？
对啊，就是我妈妈。
She's just the member of this family, and this.
我爸爸。
对
对对。
You're her mother and father.
对对对。
So, okay. She's sending some food for her parents and her kids. 不吃了，谢谢。你觉得那个他们救援人员是不是特别辛苦？
对，特别辛苦。
你有什么想对他们说的吗？
我就说他们太辛苦了。
She is so grateful for the rescuers who just evacuated her family members out of their inundated house. 像今年这么大的洪水是不是很少见？
对呀。
你以前遇到过吗？遭遇过吗？
以前遇见过，但是没有今年这么大。
She said it's rarely seen that this area. 谢谢你啊。She said such severe situation is rarely seen. 我们还可以再跟着去一次吗？我们再去一次吧。你再去吧。Okay. Now they are setting out again to help more trapped residents. We can take a look at the river. Actually, the river is a tributary of the China's longest river, the Yangtze. We can see the river is running very fast. As I just mentioned, actually, authorities have forecasted that a flood peak of about 8,500 cubic meters per second is expected to pass this county later today. Happens, it will be put into more dangerous situation. And the provincial-wide rainstorms have also impacted local tourism. As my colleague Xinchen just showed to you, that popular tourist site has been closed to tourists. Of course, that is not the only one. Many popular tourist attractions in Sichuan Province, including the Emei Mountain, Leshan Giant Buddha, and Deyang Yan, have been closed to the public due to the safety concerns. And travel agencies in many cities have also been required not to organize tour groups or take visitors to risky areas, because the situation is very serious and more rainstorms are forecasted in the following days. Let's try to talk to one of them. 我们现在跟你简单聊就是您个人参与这个救援已经几天了？过去几天是不是都在？
都在，从涨水开始就在，已经几天了。好几天了。
Okay, this rescuer is a local firefighter. He has been participating in such rescue mission for almost 1 week. 你觉得今年这个救援是不是比较挑战挺大的？
一个是啥子？就是现在这个政府统筹安排好，就是包括它的流量这块哈，它控制得好，提前通知老百姓。这个老百姓对受灾这块呢， 就是人权安全方面转移的很及时很快。
就很大部分是已经安全转移了。
对对对，大部分安全转移，有些他不愿意出来的，做工作还做不出来的，没得办法。
所以被困的是少部分。
小部分，大部分都出来了。
He told me that actually, local governments in different cities actually they have a precaution mechanism, which means that local authorities will inform local residents of the related, rainstorms and potential natural geological disasters, and will try to help them evacuate to safer places in advance. But a few people will also be trapped, maybe due to the unexpected heavy rainstorms. 所以你像你们的这个救援工作，主要挑战是什么？你觉得？比较难的是。
主要挑战啥子？就是它的那个农村头的，它的好多它的救援设备，它达不到那个要求。从顶去，它容易把房子弄垮，然后只用橡皮艇，有时候这个滑。
什么技术容易把那个弄垮？
就是这个冲锋舟，它的地大，它浪直过去，本来它的这个土子刨松了，它容易倒下来，晓得嘛？然后这块政府协调是比较好。
那像用这种皮划艇，这个叫什么？
皮划艇嘛，
这个比那个会安全一些，对那个房子。
哎，对，房子安全一些。
OK。One of the， 但这个比较难划是吧？
哎，难划，它土地比较大嘛，水流量大。
OK。One of the challenges for them is that they cannot use that kind of boats, as we can see over there, because that kind of boats are easily destroy the inundated houses, which are already fragile. So they can only use this kind of rubber boat, but it is not easy to, carry such boats to the inundated areas. So this is a challenge for them. 你们现在还要继续进去啊？那我们现在要出发吗？还是等会儿？
要出发。
Okay.
现在出发啊。
Actually, Sichuan Province would experience such flooding season each year, and due to its special geological condition, many areas across this province are easily stricken by among other disasters. Now we are setting out again, trying to evacuate more trapped residents. And actually, what we see here, what we are witnessing here, is just part of the rescue efforts across the whole province. During the past week, thousands of rescuers have worked day and night to transfer local residents. And also, in the past 2 days, some nursing homes in different cities were also put in danger due to the heavy rain, but the elderly people living inside have all been transferred to safe shelters. Yeah, actually, last Tuesday, the heavy rainstorm killed 6 people and left another 5 residents missing in Ya'an City. But after that, no casualties have been reported. We know that actually Chengdu is an economic hub and also a very popular tourist destination in China, but the continuous rainstorms have greatly impacted local tourism. I just mentioned that many popular tourist destinations, tourist spots have been closed for the public out of safety concerns. We can see that actually it's not raining at this moment. I even feel a little bit hot right now, but meteorological department has predicted that more rainstorms are expected to hit many parts of the province in the coming days, and local authorities have also issued the highest level alert for geological disasters in some areas. Actually, Chinese firefighters undertake all kinds of rescue missions, and they don't just try to put out fires. They also need to perform such mission to evacuate trapped residents during flooding season, and also they also have to perform rescue mission when other natural disasters happen, like landslide, earthquake, and some other disasters. Yeah, from here we can see many warehouses, houses of local residents, and small restaurants have all been flooded. They have all been closed for business. As I just mentioned, Jinghao County is actually not the only place that has been hit by the rainstorms. Many other places across Sichuan Province have also been battered by severe rainstorms during the past week. Many farmlands, roads, and other infrastructure have suffered varying degrees of damage. For example, in the Luojiang district in neighboring Deyang city, the water level of several rivers have also hit the record high, and the floods have paralyzed the city. So what we see right now is just a small part of the disaster-stricken areas in Sichuan Province. But the good news, as I just mentioned, is that no more casualties have been reported since last Tuesday, when 6 people were killed in a heavy rainstorm, and another 5 people went missing in the Ya'an city of Sichuan Province. Okay, we can see it's really difficult to perform such a mission. The water level is very high. Local water conservancy authorities said more than 30 levels across Sichuan Province have exceeded the safety warning levels. You can see many local residents, have been trapped in their houses. Now they can only stay on the second floor of their buildings. the first floor of these buildings have almost been submerged. For many families, there are just few food remaining. Okay, dear viewers, what you just saw are the flooding situation in Sichuan Province. My colleague Xinchen and I just live streamed from different locations of Chengdu, the capital city of Sichuan Province. We can see that the flooding situation is really serious here, and not just in Chengdu city, but many parts across Sichuan Province. But we can see the rescuers are trying their best to evacuate the trapped residents, trying to help them get out of their dangerous places. We just hope that no more rainstorms in the following days, and all the residents in different cities can stay safe during this flooding season. Okay, that's what we have from Chengdu in Sichuan Province. Thanks for watching. We will keep you updated. If you're interested in more information, please stay tuned with CGTN on different new media platforms. Thank you so much. This is Jinghao. See you next time.